guys! Amazing afternoon! Nandito po tayo ngayon sa Pascual Laboratories Inc. And ngayon po, masasaksihan nyo yung Lenten Recollection po namin. So mamaya po, ipapalabas namin siya. Sige lang. Ayun, sasabihin ko, oh my God. So ipapalabas po namin siya. Ang magtotalk po, ang Recollection Master po namin ay si Father Virgilio Ohoy. So keep on watching guys! Bye!
God's blessings. Heavenly Father, we ask you to be present among us today as we prepare ourselves for the coming Holy Week. May we completely experience the sufferings, the pains, and the sacrifices of your Son, so that we may also be able to experience His resurrection. May His sufferings inspire us also to offer our lives for you and for our fellow human beings. And may our sacrifices bear fruit in a happier, more fulfilled, more complete human life. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Our topic for this afternoon is we are all called to holiness. Ayaw ko sana magbigay ng recollection na ito kasi naubusan ako ng idea sa inyo. Ilang taon ako sasabihin natin sa inyo. Naubusan ako ng jokes. Kaya pasensya na kayo, medyo wala tayong jokes ngayon kasi parang matigan mo talaga ako. So we are all called to holiness. Minsan marami siguro nagsasabi sa atin, hindi ako pwede maging banal. Normal na tao lang ako. Hindi ako pwede maging banal. Bakit? Ano ba ang tingin mo sa mga banal? Abnormal? My dear brothers and sisters, the first slide tells us that through the Bible, the Lord calls us, all of us, to holiness. And the call to holiness is present in various ways from the very first pages of the Bible. We see it expressed in the Lord's words to Abraham, "Walk before me and be blameless." For the Lord has chosen each one of us to be holy and blameless before Him in love. I understand that some of you here are not Catholics. Maybe some are even not Christians. But this is not about being Catholic. This is not about being Christian. Holiness is being about being human. Paano tayo magiging mabubuting mga tao? I think that if a person is a good person, he should also be a holy person. Kaya, ang mga pag-uusapan natin dito are not really how to be Catholic or how to be Christian. If we mention Christ, it is because we look up at Him as a model of how it is to be human. Just as we can learn from Buddha, we can learn from Muhammad, we can also learn from Jesus Christ if we are not Christians, even if we are not Christians. So, holiness is not only for saints. It is even not only for good people. It is for all of us. Hindi porke salbahe ka, suplado ka, mayabang, magagalitin, hindi ka na pwede maging holy. We are all called to be holy. Whatever status in life we are in. Mabuti na lamang, may mga nauna na sa atin, meron tayong mga inspirasyon, meron tayong mga halimbawa. Ang mga nauna sa atin, mga banal na mga tao, mga simpleng tao lamang din. So kung titingnan natin isa-isa, ang mga tao yan, halimbawa lang, we take two examples, si Abraham. Abraham was an ordinary shepherd. Tagapag-alaga lang siya ng mga tupa. Simpleng tao. And he was very old, more than 100 years old na si Abraham. And yet, he was holy. Why? Because he followed God. He obeyed God. He tried to be good by obeying God. Kaya, nung sinabi ng Panginoon na your descendants shall be as many as the stars for all eternity, naniwala si Abraham. Kahit na hukluban na siya sa katandaan, kahit na makunat ng kanyang mga laman, at marutong ng kanyang mga buto, he still believed that he can bear many children and can have many descendants. At nang sinabihan siya ng Panginoon na dadalhin siya sa promised land, hindi niya alam kung ano meron doon. Pero sumunod siya. Moses likewise was a slave in Egypt. Of course, he was fortunate to be working in the palace, but he was in fact an Israelite in Egypt. And most of all of his countrymen are slaves in Egypt. Anong ginawa niya? He led his people out of Egypt into the freedom of the children of God. Mga simpleng tao, but they became holy because they listened to God. Kaya, lahat tayo pwede maging banal. Mga tricycle driver, mga laborers, mga construction workers, businessmen, Pasko lahat employees, pwede tayo maging banal. Next slide, please. Marami tayong katulong sa pagpapakabanal. Sometimes, the quest for holiness can be lonely. Kasi, iba mga tao, gabi-gabi, nagna-nightlife. If you want to be good, kukontrolin mo yan, hindi ko masyadong sasama. Kasi alam mo, wala namang kapupuntahan yan. Pero pag sila, parang saya sila habang nagna-nightlife. Tapos ikaw, nandun ka, sa bahay mo lang, sa pamilya mo. Yung mga iba, nasa gadgets lagi. Nag-COC, nag-ML, nag-Dota. Parang saya-saya nila. Ang taas ng ranking nila. So, pag hindi tayo nag-isama, pag nag-uusap na sila tungkol sa ML, parang wala tayo, out of this world tayo. But we are not alone. The saints are with us. But when we think of saints, next slide please, we do not need to think only of those already beatified and canonized. I like to contemplate the holiness present in the patience of God's people, in those parents who raise their children with immense love. Mga santo din mga yun, mga magulang na talagang inaalagaan nila ng mabuti ang kanilang mga anak because they love them so much. In those men and women who work hard to support their families. Yung mga hindi pa nakapag-asawa, ang inaalagaan nila, yung pamilya nila, nanay nila, tatay nila, mga kapatid nila. At dahil doon minsan, hindi na sila nakakapag-asawa dahil doon sa pag-alaga nila sa mga pamilya nila. These men and women too can be considered saints. In their daily perseverance, I see the holiness of the church militant. Very often, it is a holiness found in our next door neighbors, those who, living in our midst, reflect God's presence. Next slide, please. Let us be spurred on by the signs of holiness that the Lord shows us through the humblest members of that people, which shares also in Christ's prophetic office, spreading abroad a living witness to Him, especially by a means of a life of faith and charity. Minsan, may mga nakikita ko, mga mag-asawa, na naka-tricycle lang, namimili sa balintawak, maagang-maaga pa, tapos mamaya makikita mo yung tricycle na puro-puro ng mga gulay, at mga prutas, silang dalawa lang, nagkakarga noon, at silang dalawa yung naghahakot noon, pagdating doon sa talipapa. Titingi-tingin nila yon, tapos, ibibenta, uwi sila, gabi-gabi na. May kaunting kinita para sa pamilya. These are very holy people who make an honest living in order to take good care of their children. So, holiness need not be very extraordinary. Holiness can be found in our own particular context. Next slide, please. Strengthened by so many and such great means of salvation, all the faithful, whatever their condition or state, are called by the Lord, each in his or her own way, to the perfect holiness by which the Father Himself is perfect. So holiness is each in his or her own way. Walang gaya-gaya. We have different contexts. Each one of us is called to holiness in our particular context. Meron sa atin, ang mga tatay nila, lasenggo, o di kaya may another family. How do you make something of that situation? How can you make holy in that kind of situation? How can you avoid anger and resentment? How can you not condemn your father for having another family and maybe abandoning you at some point in your life? Pwede mo bang sabihin na natatawad ko ang tatay ko, and when the need arises, I may even take good care of my siblings who have a different mother? That demands great sacrifice. That demands great self-giving. But if you can do it, that shows the kindness, the love of God through you. May mga iba sa atin, ang mga mothers nila palaaway. Hindi mabubuhay ng walang kaaway. Pati sa pagtulog nila, may inaaway sila. How can you be holy in that kind of situation? Will you be able to talk to the people na inaaway niya, sasabihin nyo, and-explain nyo kung bakit gano'n ang mother mo, patawarin na lang nila, unawain na lang nila. So you don't condemn your mother, but at the same time, you lessen the hurt and the pains that she might inflict on the lives of other people. I have my own context too. Meron akong dalawang brothers na elderly, and both of them are sick. Yung isa may anak, pero may sariling pamilya, at hindi niya maalagaan ang father niya. Yung isa, walang pamilya. And they are now living in our small ancestral home. Dalawa lang sila roon. And I have to take good care of them. That is my own context. Yung isa, mabilis ang kamay. Kapag may mga katulong ako nilalagay doon para alagaan sila, minsan pinapasto niya. Hindi na kasi makalakad, pero marupit pa rin. Pero sobra ang pagpapatawad na binibigay ko sa kanya pag uunawa. Siya yung brother ko noon, hindi ko nagkwento ko yata sa inyo. When I was young, very young, boy, mga 8, 9 years old, binasa ko yung love letter ng girlfriend niya. Hindi niya alam kasi lumagay sa bahay. Lahat ng binabasa ko talaga, kahit anong mahawakan ko, binabasa ko. Mga newspaper, mga pinabalot sa tuyo, sa kung kami nakalagay doon, binabasa ko yun. Comics, lahat yan binabasa ko. May dumating na letter ko, binasa ko rin. Kasi hindi ko alam na may mga privacy, hindi ko alam yung araw. So binasa ko yung letter niya. Nalaman ko tuloy yung pinagagawa nila ng girlfriend niya, kung saan sila nagtatakpo, kung anong ginagawa nila, so on. Kaya nung malaman niya na may nagbasa ng letter, sabi, sino nagbasa ng letter ko? Sabi niya ganyan. Ako naman, hindi ko nagbasa. Sabi ako po, hindi ko naman alam na masama pala yun. Sinampal niya ako. Alam niyo kung ginamit niya pang sampal sa akin? Yung chinelas na walker. Di ba matigas yun? Kaya siguro kagalit yung mukha ko. Yung walker na yun, siguro makalimutan ko talaga. Pero napatawad ko na siya. Kaya nga, ngayon I'm taking good care of him in spite of our not so pleasant past. I'm taking good care of him. That is my context. We should not grow, next slide please, we should not grow discouraged before examples of holiness that appear unattainable. There are some testimonies that may prove helpful and inspiring, but that we are not meant to copy. For that could even lead us astray from the one specific path that the Lord has in mind for us. So bawat isa sa atin, may nakatalaga na ang Panginoon na parang mission natin dito sa buhay na ito. At doon tayo dapat, hanapin natin yun at doon tayo mag-focus. Next slide please. The important thing is that each believer discerns his or her own path. That they bring out the very best of themselves, the most personal gifts that God has placed in their hearts, rather than hopelessly trying to imitate something not meant for them. We are all called to be witnesses, but there are many actual ways of bearing witness. Next slide, please. To be holy does not require being a bishop, priest, or religious. We are frequently tempted to think that holiness is only for those who can withdraw from ordinary affairs to spend much time in prayer. That is not the case. We are all called to be holy by living our lives with love and by bearing witness in everything we do, wherever we find ourselves. Next slide, please. So, are you called to the consecrated life? Be holy by living your commitment with joy. Are you married? Be holy by caring for your husband or wife as Christ does for the church. And of course, your children as well. Do you work for a living? Be holy by laboring with integrity and skill in the service of your brothers and sisters. Are you a parent or godparent? Be holy by patiently teaching the little ones how to follow Jesus. Are you in a position of authority? Be holy by working for the common good and renouncing personal gain. So, doon sa mga ginagawa natin, doon sa mga obligasyon natin, there we shall find our mission and our holiness. Hindi pwede na may responsibilidad ka sa pamilya mo, nasisimbahan ka lagi. Nagpuputik-putik na mo uniform ng anak mo dahil sa kasisimba mo araw-araw. Kasi sa linggo ka lang magsimba. Kung kailangan mo maglaba para sa mga anak mo, magluto para sa kanila. Hindi kailangan magsimba ka umaga-gabi, tapos nakakalimutan ang obligasyon mo sa pamilya mo. So, where you are, what your real obligations and responsibilities are, there you shall find your mission and your holiness. Next slide, please. Let the grace of your baptism bear fruit in a path of holiness. Let everything be open to God. Turn to Him in every situation. Do not be dismayed, for you can do this in the power of the Holy Spirit, and holiness in the end is the fruit of the Holy Spirit in your life. Next slide, please. Sometimes we have some addictions or weakness in us. Some are addicted or they have weakness as regards drinking liquor. Others have weakness as regards sex. Others are addicted to gambling, and many others. When you feel the temptation to dwell in your own weakness, raise your eyes to Christ crucified or to your God, however you call Him, and say, God, I am a poor sinner, but you can work the miracle of making me a little better. We must always remember that God's power is stronger than our most powerful weaknesses. And when we are confronted with this weakness or addiction every day, there are many things in our church or in whatever religion you belong to that can help us overcome these weaknesses. There are in the church and in your own religions, there are holy people. Your church, your religion is holy, yet made up of sinners. There you will find everything you need to grow toward holiness. Doon sa mga temples natin, sa churches natin, we have our own scriptures, we have our own rituals, sacraments, we have holy places, we have living communities, we have saints and good people. So these places we can go to, these people can strengthen us, the rituals can help us overcome these weaknesses. Next slide, please. Holiness doesn't have to be achieved through great actions, because the holiness to which the Lord calls us will grow through small gestures. Here is an example. A woman meets a neighbor and they begin to speak, and the gossip starts. But she says in her heart, no, I will not speak badly of anyone. This is a step forward in holiness. So minsan, there is a great temptation to talk about somebody. Ginagawa nating dessert sa ating pagkain, yung buhay ng ibang mga tao. At kapag kami nagkukumpul-kumpulan na yan, at pinag-usapan niya yung isa, ang sarap-sarap makisali sa usapan. Kasi ang ganda-ganda makinig tungkol sa buhay ng ibang mga tao. At minsan nag-contribute din tayo. And before we know it, we are already judging a person. Okay lang yan na. We talk about information lang. Oy, nakita ko sa kasama si ganito. Yun lang, information lang. Kung sasabihin, ay, sila na palang dalawa kasi nakita ko sila sa ganito, magkasama silang dalawa. Nagkaroon ka na kaagad ng conclusion ng judgment. Information lang, okay lang yun. Pero to make a conclusion or to make something out of what you saw, parang hindi na tama yun. Because you might destroy the reputation of a person. And you might even destroy the person, herself or himself, and his or her family. Talagang minsan akala natin totoong-totoo na ang nalalaman natin. Kahapon nga, nagmisa ako sa Regina, dyan sa Scout Fernandez. Habang nagmimisa ako kaya, habang may nagbabasa, bigla nagtinginan sa akin lahat ng mga tao. Lahat talaga, tumingin ko sa direction ko saan ako. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, siguro nagugubuhan sa akin kasi bago gupit ako. Sabi ko, talagang tingin sa akin din for mga few minutes. Until I realized na kaya pala sila tumitingin doon, ay ano pala yung text na responsorial sum. Kaya pala doon ba na nakatingin sa kung saan ako naroon. Akala ko gabong-gabong ako sa sarili ko. Yung pala responsorial sum ang tinitingnan nila bro. So minsan akala natin yun na. Marami tayong mga akala. Akala natin totoong-totoo na. But if we try to really look at it and analyze it, katitingnan pa lang alam natin. And then, we make something big out of the little things that we know about. So, avoiding gossip is a step toward holiness. Later at home, next slide please, one of her children wants to talk to her about his hopes and dreams. And even though she is tired, she sits down and listens patiently and with love. That is another sacrifice that brings holiness. So kahit na pagod ka na, sobrang pagod mo sa trabaho, daming stresses, when you get home, one of your children would like to talk to you about anything, you patiently listen. That is another sign of self-sacrifice and holiness. Later, she experiences some anxiety over family problems and the difficulty of meeting both ends meet, or rather, of meeting both ends in her budget. But recalling the love of the Virgin Mary, she takes her rosary and prays in faith. Yet another path of holiness. Kung wala ka na magawa, hanggang doon na lang ang pera mo, hanggang doon na lang ang paggastos mo. There's no use in stressing yourself. Magdasal ka na naman. That is another sign of holiness. Because by praying, you let God take over. May kakulangan, may pagkukulang sa pamilya mo, may kakulangan, hindi mo na kayang sagutan yan at the moment, hinayaan mo Panginoon na ang bahala to take over your shortcomings. Next slide please. Later still, she goes out into the street, encounters a poor person, and stops to say a kind word to him, or gives him a little help within her means, without making him overly dependent. That is one more step to holiness. Maraming mga small things sa buhay natin. Yung bang hindi mo pinatulan yung taong nanira sa iyo, hinitian mo pa pagkatapos ng makasalubong mo, kahit nalaman mo siya ang nagkalat ng hindi totoong chismis nung ko sa iyo. That is a step to holiness. Nagbigay ka ng dagdag na tip sa driver ng tricycle kasi alam mo, mahirap siya at may pamilya siya. That is another step to holiness. Hindi mo pinabayad yung nagutang sa iyo na alam mo yung pinabayad niya, inutang din niya doon sa kabila. Nalaman mo yun. Sabi mo sa kanya, okay, meron pa naman ako dito, okay na huwag mo bayaran. Kasi alam ko, kailangan mo. That is another step to holiness. Small things, but they show the kindness, the goodness of your human heart. Next slide, please. At times, life presents great challenges. Through them, the Lord calls us and you to a conversion that can make His grace more evident in our lives, in order that we may share His holiness. So may mga times na there are great challenges. For example, halimbawa lang, hindi ko sinasabing magkatotoo, na take over na tayo ng China. Lahat ng mga empleyado ng Pasko na dito ngayon, Chinese na. Kakunti na lang mga Pilipino. And then, they will prohibit having the first Friday Mass. Kung ano pa. And then, those who are Christians or who believe in other religions, because they are communists, ay pinagbabawal na. There will be persecutions. Maybe in those times, we are called to do extraordinary things, like offering our lives for our faith. like dying for the sake of our religion. So those are extraordinary things, great challenges. But at other times, we need only a more perfect way of doing what we are already doing. There are inspirations that tend solely to perfect in an extraordinary way the ordinary things we do in life. So, kung ano yung ginagawa mo, mas pagbubutihin mo. You work here, you make your performance much better. If you're a mother, you become more attentive to the needs of your children. Talagang pinagluluto mo sila na mabuti. Hindi ang tinola mo ay kasing lasa ng menudo. Kasi parehong magic sarap lang ilagay mo lahat doon. Ay pare-parehong lasa kahit anong lulutuin mo. Kasi madalian lang yun. So, my dear brothers and sisters, each Christian has a mission in this life. Next slide. This mission on earth should be seen as a path of holiness. Each saint is a mission, planned by the Father to reflect and embody a specific moment in history, a certain aspect of the gospel. So, bawat isa sa atin, may kanya-kanya tayong magagawa that would reflect an aspect of the life of Christ. Yung mga kabutihang nagawa niya, kapag nagagawa natin yun, hindi natin kaya lahat na ginawa niya, gagawin din natin. If we take one aspect of it, that should be already our mission. Saan ba tayo magaling? Magturo, mag-preach. Saan ba tayo pwede? Helping the sick and the handicapped. Saan ba natin mapapakita ang pagmamahal ni Kristo sa pagpapatawad sa taong napakahirap patawarin sa pamilya natin? Ang daming ginawa pang-api, pang-abuso, pero pinapatawad natin. Saan ba tayo? Pwede ba tayo doon sa pakikisa sa mga outcasts, sa mga dinidisown ng society, sa mga preso halimbawa, sa mga may ketong? Kaya ba natin pumunta roon at makisalamuha sa kanila? Ang hirap kaya makisalamuha sa mga may ketong. Kasi minsan maamoy mo siya. Minsan pumunta ako sa pinsan ko sa Maytana, kapitbahay namin may mga ketong. Minsan, nagbibigay sila ng pagkain sa amin. Siyempre, para ayaw namin kainin. Ginagawa namin, patago lang na ayaw na pinapakain namin sa aso, o tinatapon namin kasi parang nag-iingat din kami siyempre. But, in the day-to-day encounter with them, talagang we try our best na maging normal ang pag-ipag-usap nila sa amin. Na makapagsasabi sila ng problema nila sa amin, kami din nagsasabi ng problema nila sa kanila, and so on and so forth. Mahirap yun na araw-araw nakikita mo sila, naamoy mo, but then you have to do it. Because they are also human, and they are also children of God. So, doon ba ay papakita mo ang pagmamahal ni Kristo? Or, can you show the love and the life of Christ by being poor and simple in the way you live, in the way you dress, and in the manner of eating, and so on? So, lahat tayo may mission sa buhay. We just take one aspect of the life of Christ. And when we fulfill that mission, kung masasabi natin na through us, we are able to express the love of God, then we are already fulfilling our own personal mission. Now, maybe this is the last topic. A holy person is not a perfect person. Hindi kailangan maging perfect tayo. Because we can never be perfect. Next slide. Not everything a saint says is completely faithful to the gospel. Not everything he or she does is authentic or perfect. What we need to contemplate is the totality of their life, their entire journey of growth in holiness, the reflection of Jesus Christ that emerges when we grasp their overall meaning as a person. So, we look at ourselves as a totality. Yung buhay ba natin, ang direksyon niya ay naipapakita natin ang pagmamahal, ang kabutihan, at kagandahan ng pagkatao ni Kristo. Kahit na minsan may mga mali-mali tayo, minsan nakakapagmura tayo, minsan masungit tayo, minsan nagkaaway tayo. Pero kung titignan mo buong buhay mo, yung ba ay nagpapakita ba ng pagmamahal ni Kristo? Then, kapag ka masasabi mong ganun ang buhay mo, you can be a saint. You can be holy. Kaya, si San Agustin, alam natin, may mga kahinaan din siya. He used to be a womanizer. In fact, nagkaroon pa siya ng anak outside of marriage. Si San Pedro, very impulsive. Si James and John, the apostles, sons of Zebedee, ang tawag sa kanila, sons of thunder. Lagi malalakas ang boses, lagi nagpag-diskusyon, palaway. But they are saints nevertheless. So, we need not be perfect if you are to become a saint, if you want to be holy. We just have to strive to reflect, to show, to express, to manifest the goodness, the kindness, the love of God through our lives. Kaya, my dear brothers and sisters, this is the last slide. This is a powerful summons to all of us. We too need to see the entirety of our life as a mission. We can try to do so by listening to God in prayer and recognizing the signs that He gives us. We always ask the Spirit what Jesus expects from us at every moment of our lives and in every decision we must make so as to discern its place in the vision we have received. So, our mission is indeed only to show to the world, to manifest to the world, to express to the world the goodness, the kindness, and the love of God. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Good day.